Hi everyone, good afternoon. I think it's about 3:30 on the East Coast here. I wanted to make a little video. I was suddenly inspired, and it has to do with my work as a spirit medium and as a psychic, and how I do the work that I do and how other people may do the work that they do. I love doing the work. I love communicating with spirit. I love bringing connections to people on the earth plane with their loved ones on the other side. I absolutely love it. I can't imagine doing anything else. I really couldn't. I've wanted to do so many different things, and then this is the one thing that I feel like I fitted into perfectly. Well, I say perfect as can be for me. But you know, just like any other job, it can be tough. You can have tough days, you can have good days. And not every day in the work that I do is gonna be perfect. That's kind of unrealistic, really, because that's where the lessons come in when you have those not so good days, or the not so perfectly aligned days. But in this video, I really wanted to talk about how, when working as a psychic or when working as a medium, that it's really important for someone like myself to be able to stay in that flow, especially more so when you're going into communication with spirit, because you're going into such a deeper place, a deeper, more higher you're going to a high frequency, a high vibration in which to connect to spirit versus than psychic. And so what you're doing is, when you're making that connection, you're listening and feeling and watching intently for the way that spirit's going to communicate. And so the focus is important. And so when I'm going into spirit, my focus is solely on what spirit's trying to tell me, what they're showing me, and how they're making me feel. And all those key factors is what helps me give the client the most authentic reading. Now, what happens is, though, sometimes as a client, we either expect to hear certain things that aren't delivered, or we get into a place that we're wanting to engage more with the psychic and medium. And I always tell clients, and it's really important, that, you know, at the end of the reading, you're going to be able to ask questions. Or I will let you know when it's time to ask questions after I'm done with the spirit reading section of the reading. Because sometimes I do a little bit of both. I do a little bit of spirit, a little bit of psychic. And it makes it difficult. So this is really for you, the client, should you choose to get a reading with anyone that's a spirit medium or a psychic, that it's really important to make sure you don't interrupt the reader. And I always tell this to my clients: please don't interrupt. Please let me stay in my flow. Because what it does, it almost affects the connection to some degree. Now, I'm going to continue to hold on to my connection with spirit as long as I can hold on to. But when the questions come in while I'm in the middle of receiving information, it makes it very, very difficult. And it could possibly help, it could make me lose focus of my connection with spirit. So I always prefer for people on the earth plane, the people that I'm communicating with, the client, to ask questions at the end. But sometimes, you know, and it's normal, you, the client, may become eager and you want to ask questions while the reader is already in that reading. But it's really important. I highly, highly suggest that as you, the client, the person receiving the reading, that you follow the directions that your reader is giving you. Follow all their directions. So if they say turn your phone off, turn your phone off. And this has happened to me a few times where I've had people answer their phones. If you have your phone on, turn it off. If you're recording with your phone, put it on silent, not vibrate. I'll ask a lot of people to put their phone on silent, and it's always on vibrate. I've literally had people answer their phone during my reading. Now, please don't do that with whomever you're having a reading with. Now, it happens, it's a mistake, and this is how we learn. It's okay. But I highly recommend that you follow those rules. So yeah, turning your phone off or putting it on silent, and don't answer any phone calls. Stay focused with your connection in that moment within the reading. Pay attention to what the reader is telling you, because there may be things that you'll miss if you're distracted by the phone. And I think in life generally, we're all distracted by the phone. I'm guilty. And so that's one of my rules. And so the other rule again is to not interrupt when I'm speaking, connecting to spirit, because I want to stay consistent with that spirit. I want to know what they're trying to tell me. And then maybe they're quiet communicators, maybe they're shy, maybe they never really was that kind of person that would have a lot to say, and I'm having to ask more to receive more information, because that's what I do. If I go quiet in the reading, I'm communicating. I may not be saying anything to you, the client, but I'm actually communicating with the spirit next to me. And that's how I receive all my information. I'll normally just listen to everything they have to say. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the thing that they say the first time around. So I'll ask again and say, hey, could you please reiterate what you just said and explain that to me in a bit more finer detail so it's more understandable for me to translate and then give to the client, to their loved one on the earth plane. So, please. So the biggest rule, again, number 2, is don't interrupt. It's really important that you know that spirit is in charge of the reading and what they have to say. It's really up to me to stay focused on what spirit has to say and then translate that information to you, the client. What you want them to say really isn't up to you. It's up to spirit. And if there's something that spirit is sharing, you don't want to, I want to move on to something else, for example. Oh, no, it's all right. We don't need to talk about that. We could talk about something else. Spirit may want to talk about what you don't want to talk about. Spirit's in charge. And it's really normal to know that it's okay to just listen. But, we have sometimes as a client, especially if we're new, we have this idea of, this is what I want to hear. If they say, for example, this name, then I know they're authentic. Or if they talk about this, then I'm going to be satisfied. The more open you are to receiving any kind of information that comes through, the better the reading you're actually going to have. The more intent that you're focused, rather than being distracted and answering your phone during a reading, really, really important. Because you may be missing so much more. Now, there's lots of people like myself that will record the reading for you. And so when you listen to it at a later date, there's going to be more information that you're going to understand and find. And so a lot of what doesn't make sense in the reading that present moment will make more sense later on. But for the reader to be in their most authentic state, they need you the client, to really listen, to not be distracted and to not interrupt with questions while the reader is still in their flow. What I tend to do is I just always tell the client, okay, now would you like to ask any questions? And it makes it harder when I or anyone who does this work has to then stop what they're doing in communication with the spirit to address the client, to be patient and allow us to do the work. Let us speak and give you information. There may be information from spirit that you'd never expected to hear that will surprise you. There's so much more to receive if you allow it. So, and the same thing goes with psychic too. When you're going in on a psychic reading and you're tapping into the client's aura, the energy, or you're communicating with their spirit guides, you're in a flow of receiving information as clearly as you allow, as the reader allows. And what I was trained to ask, and I love asking this question because I find it very important and authentic and valid. I always ask the client, do you want to know everything? And if not, let me know otherwise. So there's your opportunity. If there's something you don't want to talk about, there's that opportunity. And I will stop what I'm talking about. If you don't want to know about something, okay, I'll stop and I'll move on to the next thing in a psychic reading. So that's different. In a psychic reading, I'm going to assist your energy. And if you don't want to talk about something because it's too personal, then I'm going to stop. But in a spirit reading, if they want to talk about the fact that they weren't happy with how they treated somebody on the earth plane, or they're not happy with how, say, Great Aunt Edna is really being a bit frivolous with their money, and you don't want to talk about Aunt Edna, Spirit does, because they have stuff to say, So be mindful of what Spirit wants to say, how they want to say it, when they want to say it. Be open-minded. Don't have expectations of what you think they should talk about and what you want them to talk about. Because I'm serving the spirit. I'm serving you, the client, but I'm also serving spirit in a spirit reading. If you want to know more about life path information, then only go with a psychic reading. So, this is really important, but it's really for you, the client, to understand this, because we all have questions regarding this work, and we never stop learning. The reader never stops learning, and the clients never stop learning. And the more, and so this is for you also, if you're a reader, this is important to know, is to set up a structure, a routine to a certain degree, where you have your script of what you're going to say to your client. You go over your rules. So again, mine are don't interrupt. If I'm in my flow, I'm going to tell you when it's time to ask questions. Don't answer your phone. Turn off your phone. Should you arrive early, don't walk right on into my office. I got a lot of rules, and it may sound like I'm a bit strict, but it's so that I can hold space to do the work that I'm doing. If I don't stick to the rules, then I may be out of balance slightly and out of my flow. So please listen to the directions that any reader will give you, the client. And if you're a reader and you're starting out, get a script going. Decide how you would like your reading to go. Keep your time check, track your time. Make sure you don't go over too much, because that will exhaust you. Make sure that you address all certain areas within a psychic and spirit reading. There's a foundation to it all that I've been fortunate enough to learn through my teacher. I don't think I had much of a structure and foundation until I went and studied. I felt like I just went with whatever came. And then once I found that foundation, my routine was so much better and my information was so much more clearer. So, take note of that too. If you're in the psychic development workshop, really focus, really pay attention to the work that you're doing, because it's all about the effort that you put in. Whenever you commit to any class, commit to it. Do the work, do the practice, do the study, because it's going to benefit you in the long run and anyone else you're going to serve later. All right. So I guess I'll keep it short, because otherwise I'll bore you too much. But I really wanted to make this video so that it's helpful to you, the client, any future client, or if, again, and it's not about you, whoever my clients are, it's clients that will see other readers as well. And if a reader does not tell you how they're going to work, or they don't give you directions, ask them, because they may be new. Maybe they're still trying to find their foundation. Ask the reader, hey, is there anything you would like me to do? Is there anything I need to know before we sit down and you read me? Just ask. It's important to know that. But yes, I hope it helps. But I really wanted to address that. Don't answer your phone in the middle of a reading. Please, if it's buzzing because it's accidentally on vibrate, stick it under your butt. I don't know. Stick it in your bag. But do not answer the phone. And do not, try not to interrupt in the middle of a flow when communicating with spirit. Allow spirit to share what they would like to share. If they want to talk about Aunt Edna and her money issues, let them talk about it. Even if it's not something you want to talk about, okay? Because lo and behold, 9 times out of 10, we're going to get to more information that you want to get to anyway. Always happens. You just have to be patient and receive fully. All right? So thank you for listening. Share with anyone else that you feel may need to hear this, if this helps. And I'll see you online again soon. Oh, we are going to do another FaceTime live very soon. And I will post another intuitive question out for all of you. And if you haven't yet, join my public page, my media page. And if you haven't left a review for me yet, please do that. I don't normally ask for reviews. I'm trying to collect as many as I can. And for those that have, thank you so much. Again, beautiful words that have been said. I really appreciate it. So enjoy, all of you, enjoy your beautiful day. It's lovely to see all of you. And I will see you soon. Bye.